Today we are all gathered here to partake in the Naga Morung, which is the most significant and the history-making program for the Naga people with the theme Nagaland. To start with the program, let me also enlighten the congregation that the motive and the intention of the Naga Student Federation to come up with this program is the Naga Morung. It's a historical and a cornerstone of a Naga society. And Naga society.
One nation should continue to remain our guiding light. As sovereign Naga nation, this is acknowledged and started globally what Naga Student Federation have been fighting for. Naga Student Federation will always stay fast in our pursuit to uphold the unified Naga identity. To the leaders of all the national political groups, what would have the multiple groups cropping up in the name of Naga nationalism, down to our Naga nation? Are your action truly upholding the principle Nagaland for tribes? Can you confidently say that you are upholding the Naga national principle? Mark my word, I say this because the Naga people are never against the Naga national movement. However, this ongoing divide among the various groups, taking the Naga national movement forward is unacceptable to our youth and students community. Our sincere plea is for all the groups to come together and collectively assert of our God-given legitimate right for Naga nation, dedicated to the tribe in letter and spirit. As the Naga people celebrate the 78 years of our nationhood, I wish the nation prosperity. I pray that the reality of our struggle result in divine land, which will be justice to our cause. The Naga Morung, historically a cornerstone of Naga society, serve as a vital institution where young Naga learn the custom, tradition, and history of our people. However, in this modern time, this tradition has been failing and leading to generational gap in the younger generations' understanding of this historical and political heritage. It is for this very reason, this event, the Naga Morung with the theme Nagaland, which means big victory to our people, is being prepared and organized by the Naga Student Federation to instill dignity in our young Naga by educating about the Naga history. The culturally symbolic victory, resilience, and collective aspirations of the Naga people for self-determination and unified identity. Through this theme, the event aims to highlight the enduring spirit of the Naga struggle and envision a prosperous future for the community. As we commemorate these auspicious occasions, on behalf of the Federation, I assure the Naga people that we shall continue to strive for unified being and that will not rest until our desired goal for determination on our own future is achieved. It should remain the ultimate goal for every Naga individual that our identity, our unique history, and the resulting right is respected and honored by every single force in the earth. Make no mistake that the Federation will not accept any piecemeal solution to the protracted Indo-Naga political issue. What's should be mutually agreed upon on the negotiating table between the Naga leader and the government of India. NSF is no way to accept any solution that is enforced upon our people. The world is witness to the assertions of the Naga Student Federation that we will come out with all the ground rising against any attempt to impose solutions. We remain dedicated to the inclusive, honorable, acceptable solution to this struggle, not only political issue. That said, total sovereignty shall continue to be the ultimate goal of pursuit. May God bless. May God continue to guide and lead us and uphold this, because what is just, fear and righteousness. May God bless the Naga people. May God bless the Naga Student Federation for unified lead and glories of the Nagas. Good night.
Today, as we come together here to celebrate our Independence Day, it is so disheartening that many of our leaders are celebrating in their own locations with their own prime ministers and council of ministers. This is very unfortunate. This is not the independence our forefathers or leaders of the past fought for. Let us come together recently, sit over the table, hammer out the solution that we call Nagaland a family. Ladies and gentlemen, may I also take this privilege and praise you asking why Eastern Nagas are called backward. We did not choose it, but it is because of the circumstances, the situation. Because the Eastern Nagas, we choose to pick our hands. We motivated, encourage ourselves, inspire ourselves to first fight for our Naga cause. May I also say when the rest of the Nagas were getting education from beautiful states like Shillong in Nagaland, Assam, some even from other foreign countries, were getting education. Schools, educational institutions were burned down to ashes in the easternmost tip of our beautiful land. Let us reason together as to how many minds our strength have conquered, our hands have been stretched, our sweats have been shaped. Friends, ladies and gentlemen present here, if you really are for unity, prosperity, peace, and unified living, shall we all take a moment to revisit our history? When our Naga nationalism fight was at its peak, our brothers and sisters, whom today are separated by the so-called imaginary line, stood, tooth and nail, sacrificed the best out of their best, so that we may live happily today. However, at this very present situation, they are in truth. How much love, care, protection, comfort have we given them? If you really are fighting for unity, peace, prosperity, and a unified living. Time has come for young, old, educated, uneducated, to reason out as to why we should come together, as to why this present situation, scenario, in our Naga family should have continued. My good office have always been advocating that one must come together, sit across the table, hammer out our interferences, show to the world that we are genuinely one. Lastly, I would like to take this privilege and appeal to all sections of Naga society, leaders, young and old. If you really are to fight for peace, unity, prosperity, let us be the first person to hold on to that principle of the genuine ambassador, to advocate that having a big heart to accommodate all, wise brain to think for all, and a long hands to reach the unreached, so we live to see a better Nagaland. Good night.
As we gather today to commemorate the 78th Naga Independence Day, we stand united in reflection and remembrance. It is indeed reassuring, even encouraging to see such an overwhelming turnout of students and youth from the length and breadth of our beautiful Naga lands. This day holds deep significance for all of us as we honor the enduring spirit and resilience of the Naga people, a spirit that has weathered trials and traumas through decades of struggle and sacrifice. Franz Fanon, a revolutionary thinker, reminded us that each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it, or betray it. As we look back on the journey of our forebears, we see the mission they discovered, a necessary mission of self-determination, dignity, and peace. Today, it is our responsibility to fulfill that mission by keeping the memories of their struggles alive, ensuring that the lessons of the past guide us toward a brighter and more just future.
The Naga National Council passed a decision, all Naga villages, that every 10 Naga family will contribute one able-bodied Naga youth become a Naga army. Those families who cannot contribute a person become a soldier of the Naga army who will create resources to take care of the basic necessity of one representing Naga army. So who will provide human body to be a Naga army will provide those families who do not have young able people. They're creating resources, foods, everything, feed the Naga army, the shelters. That is how the Naga army started. When these movements were starting, and even before the Naga army was formed at that time, You must have heard about what the first Prime Minister of India said, Jawaharlal Nehru, when he came to Kohima with UNU, the Prime Minister of Burma. All of Burma, India became independent at that point in time and came to Kohima to negotiate how to distribute our Nagaland into Burma and India or otherwise. But the Nagas would have none of this, and we wanted to make independent as well. So when Nagalanders wanted to make them submit our memorandum, whatever, his secretaries did not allow, and they said Nagas cannot meet the Prime Minister in person, nor to submit any document. So our Naga leaders said, why should we meet when guests come to our home and they refuse to listen to us? There is no point in making such humiliation. And they walked out, burying their bottles. You know those days, Nagas don't wear long pants. It was such an insult in the area. He went back to Delhi, shouted in the parliament, and he said, what I have done falls, and the rivers runs with blood. I will not allow Nagas to be independent. And he said, I will station one Indian soldier for every tree in Nagaland and crush the Nagas in 1 week. That 1 week went into years. You could not crush the Nagas. Later on, after the height of emergency in India, in 1977, emergency was 75. Another Prime Minister, Mr. Morarji Desai, went to London to meet our Naga leaders. He served as a Piso. One Piso wanted to talk about Nagaland. He said he will hear nothing about Nagaland. He only wants Nagas to become Indian. When that happened, Piso said, we're not Indians. We never become Indians, whatever. He said, then I will exterminate every Naga, kill every Naga, exterminate every Naga. That was the word. And I have no compunction. This was his words. How did you come to know it was his words? Piso had a small tape recorder inside his front pocket. He taped every conversation he had for this side, and this was passed on down our homeland. This was in June 1977. In November 1977, again, he came to Kohima. And the leaders of the Naga Students Federation went to meeting and appraising about the sufferings of the Nagas. He told the Naga student leaders, NSF leaders, the same thing. It is what I told your leader, is on London, and I'm telling you now again. I will exterminate every Naga, and I will have no compunction, no hesitation in order. That was how Indian Prime Ministers behaved. So what do you expect from a rusty Indian soldiers who could not even speak English, Hindi, hardly understand what is the civilized way of the world? To behave a civilized life. So the king burned down our villages, tortured our people, raped our women. Children, how many children we have killed? You will not know. Sometimes it's too depressing to relate stories. But for instance, there were 6 Chapasan students of class 6, I believe. They came to Picharo from Inhumi village, just near Picharo, near Chisari. 6 of them were staying in one rented house in Picharo town to appear their exams. It must be an exam from ME to high school. They were just in the 13, 14, 15 years. 6 of them! Crowded in one small place, renting furniture. The Indian military, I believe the Marathon Mission, came in, took them away, and not only killed them, chopped their body, collected their body parts, which were only meat, in garden bags, and threw into the jungle near Future Road, behind in the jungles, in the road, for animals to eat up, perhaps. 1 pieces of their bodies were found. None of the relatives, though this part of the body belonged to the children or their brother.
Establishing the very principle of right is mine. Others who fail to understand the very trial of our struggle is that of our land and history, confronted us with might is right. The eventual contest between right is mine and might is right has left behind a trail of devastation with far-reaching consequences on our mind in the form of mental and psychological trauma. Over the decades, the world has come to recognize through neuroscientific researchers the existence of mental and psychological trauma, which can be intergenerational and intragenerational. Such trauma has been found to change the brain biology and psychology, causing emotional or physical pains, which are often invisible like a virus, nevertheless harmful and contagious. The mental and psychological trauma can behave like a villain in our mind. It insidiously and viciously attacks our emotions and memories to change them and thereby successfully alters our decisions, changing the course of our lives. I want you to think very carefully. Our trauma, like a villain, can change our emotions and alter our decisions, which can change the course of our life. Can we be going through such a situation at the moment? The trauma can also change our brain to the extent of making us forget our own worthiness, our dreams, our aspirations, and the fundamental aspect of what it means to be fully alive. It can also destroy and damage our human potentiality for innovation and creativity. The trauma can create in us the fear of failure, affecting our progress and development by reinforcing anxieties and worries. One thing the scientists are concerned about harmful effects of trauma is its capability to affect the children of the future. In fact, the children who aren't even imagined yet, I know most of you are young, you are not imagining of children yet, even not born, but this trauma can affect even those children that you are imagining, but that is not even born. That trauma, the trauma, too invisible like a virus, can be so dangerous as it can infiltrate the survival chain of our species by allowing its harm to amplify across generations. The second, when we're at the crossroad, the second of the trauma, I want to bring to our awareness about the victimhood mindset. I think we Nagas, we continue to remain in a mindset of victimhood, ever seeking for validation injustice done to us. We consider ourselves as victims of negative actions of others, of which we are helpless, powerless, and at the mercy of external forces. Right. According to a political psychologist, victimhood mentality develops from a progression of self-realization, social reformation, and eventual attempt to maintain victimhood status. I won't be very wrong because I think our Nagas, we are stuck and we want to maintain our victimhood status. People with such mindsets, people who remain in victimhood status, do not take responsibility for their own actions and blame others on the circumstances or their difficulties. People stuck in victimhood mindset do also exhibit tendencies such as self-pity, constant complaining, and lack of assertiveness, self-motivation, or active decision-making in their lives. The outcome of living in victimhood mentality can be deleterious for our people. As psychologists at Masters Counseling and Therapy have found out that it can increase stress and anxiety. It could lead to limited personal growth and development. It can cause strained relationship and social isolation. It can decrease our capability in problem-solving skills and impair our mental health and well-being. According to another psychologist, William Cole, says, there are many psychological forces when it comes to morality and politics, but victimhood seems like the most powerful, unquote. Perceptions and assumptions of victimhood determine our moral judgments, our self-perceptions, and shape our interactions with other people. While inevitably seeking recognition for one's victimhood, we may develop moral elitism with lack of empathy for the pain and suffering of others and keep on ruminating about our past harms. Psychologically, this can lead to stunted growth and development with ignorance of our ability to see oneself and the world in all of its complexities. The third I wanted to share was about entitlement mindset. People with entitlement mindsets are the ones with a sense of deservingness or being owed a favor. When actually little or nothing has been done to deserve any such special treatment, they are likely to have the attitude of you owe me, and even the attitude of rules don't apply to me. The acts of entitlement are that of demanding special treatment, expecting others to do the things for them, not showing gratitude, and with a deep belief that they should be admired and respected by others. At a conscious level, they believe that they are above others, and nothing is wrong with them, but subconsciously, actually, they have deep internal shame, which is so strong that they hate to accept it. In victimhood rooted in the past or resentment from past hurts may emerge as an entitlement mindset to compensate for past wrongs. Such a mindset may behave aggressively and selfishly. Research shows that all of us spend about 50% of our inner dialogue thinking about ourselves, and 95% of our conversation talking about ourselves. Let me just repeat. Researchers shows that all of us spend about 50% of our inner dialogue thinking about ourselves, and 95% of our conversation talking about ourselves. Anyway, in conclusion, I would like for all of us to think creatively and constructively to successfully respond to the challenges, lest we are all transformed into miniature creatures, fighting over the rights to climb chilly and winter trees. Thank you so much.
Everyone who is here today to celebrate the history of our movement, to celebrate the 78th commemoration of Naga Independence Day, and also to put our heads together to think about what we are going to do for the future. So my speech and my thoughts are basically around what can the Nagas look forward to in the future. Mr. Chairman, Mr. K. Ilu, the President and colleagues of the Naga Students Federation, my dear young friends, ladies and gentlemen, Happy Naga Independence Day. I bring you warm greetings on the commemoration of our Naga Independence Day celebration through the Naga Morung, which has brought all of us together to celebrate our peoplehood and our Naga nationalism. The Naga history of our political struggle continues till today because we are a resilient nation, brave and proud of our rich culture and traditions, and we are born from forefathers that believed in freedom. Today, as we commemorate our Naga Independence Day, we stand in solidarity with struggling nations across the world who also yearn for peace and justice. From the mountains and hills of our Naga homeland to the streets of Palestine, from the hills of Kashmir to the plains of the West Sahara, we recognize the struggles of nations and people who have borne the fragility of war just like us for generations. We know that peace is not just the absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. We know that justice is not just a concept, but a lived reality. We know that our struggles are interconnected and our fates intertwined. Today, as we gather to reflect on our political history and struggle, and to honor the resilience that has defined our people, we remember the past with the hope to build a stronger future. Our journey has been marked by courage, sacrifice, and determination. From the earliest days of resistance against colonial rule to the present day, our people have stood firm in the face of adversity. We have faced forced assimilation, cultural suppression, political marginalization, militarization and army atrocities, dehumanization, and violations of human rights. Yet, Nagas remain unbroken. We remember the pioneers who fought for our rights, like Dr. Inkomliba, A.Z. Pizo, and many others who paved the way for our struggle. We honor the sacrifices of our Naga martyrs whose blood has watered the soil of our freedom. We recognize the tireless efforts of our Naga political leaders of today who have navigated treacherous landscapes to keep our cause alive. But our history is not just a tale of struggle. It is also a testament to our resilience We have preserved our rich culture, our languages and traditions, despite centuries of external pressure. We have adapted, innovated, and thrived in the face of destiny. As we ponder on Naga's tomorrow, the vision, and build the Naga future, we must draw strength from our past. Let us honor our heritage by innovating and preserving our culture. Learn from our struggles to forge a united and inclusive path towards the days ahead. Empower our youth and younger generations to become leaders who are change makers in the truest sense. We must foster reconciliation and understanding amongst ourselves, with our neighbors, and the world around us. The vision for the Nagas tomorrow has the potential to transform our communities and shape a brighter future for generations to come. Nagas tomorrow is more than a vision. It's a movement, from what I see, that seeks to bring lasting peace to our homeland, built on the principles of justice, equality, and reconciliation. We are a nation born of ancestors that believe in justice, respect for elders and women, honest and brave. A people that protected a culture of peacemaking in the midst of wars. We must revive and sustain these traditional values and practices for the greater good of our people and for the future of the younger generation. Empowering our people to self-determine our future, which will be free from external interference, militarization, and the draconian Armed Forces Special Powers Act that has affected and traumatized generations. Each one of us, old and young, have the responsibility to stand for our Naga identity as a people and the inherent right to freedom as declared on the 14th August 1949, which we celebrate today. Generations of Nagas have seen wars and bloodshed, militarization, guns and killings, and are